A curfew just went into effect in several cities across the metro, including Brooklyn Center, where a police officer shot and killed 20-year-old Wright 2 days ago during a traffic stop. That officer, Kim Potter, resigned today. So did Police Chief Tim Gannon. He said that Potter likely meant to use her taser, but pulled out her gun instead. Potter could be charged tomorrow. Tonight, more than 2,000 Minnesota National Guard soldiers are working alongside law enforcement on the streets.
We have team coverage for you this evening on the latest developments. We want to begin with our Mike Matz live at Brooklyn Center. Matzy?
Yeah, it is becoming a more subdued and controlled scene here, and that has been the process of persistence here with the State Highway Patrol and the National Guard coming together. You can hear behind me, we are being told to disperse the media as well as the people. Many of the people that once made up this crowd are now gone. It did get volatile for a while, a face-off, if you will, between them and law enforcement officials. As you mentioned, there was some gas dispersed, not tear gas technically, and there were some flashbangs, as well as fireworks that came from the protesters themselves that highlighted this area. Now, they're on the megaphone right now, and they're telling people to go home, but it is a much smaller crowd than it once was. It is also an energetic crowd, and it is a diverse crowd. And much like we saw last year during the protest, we've also seen not far from here, as we became familiar with last summer, some people would call them a paddy wagon, but it's actually mass transit buses that they have now isolated and they have earmarked for situations like this, where if they have to do a mass arrest and bring people in, they bring them there. They're on the perimeter. We believe the National Guard is separate perimeter as well, and the State Highway Patrol is down near ground zero, which you can see behind me, about a block and a half away. But certainly the crowd is dispersed. It is becoming a more tranquil sight. I did hear from different protesters that this might not be the last place that they protest tonight. There's a high energy with some of them, and they may move on to somewhere else because they are organized through the electronic media and through social media to move from one place to the other. I don't think it's any imminent threat. I just think those are the conversations that are going on right now from here. But the good news is the snow is falling and the crowd is dispersing, and it looks like we're heading toward a semi-peaceful ending to tonight.
All right, Mike, thank you for the update.
And next we want to go to Erin Hassanzadeh. She has been following tonight's protest since it began. Erin.
Yeah, we are just up the street from the Brooklyn Center Police Department. It's over my shoulder here, where State Patrol has been telling the crowd to disperse here since 8:30. So we're coming up on 2 hours of commands over the loudspeakers to disperse, that this is unlawful assembly, that the protesters were here to disperse. The media has been specifically called out and also told to disperse and leave the area. The lights behind me is where the line is. At last check, there were still a handful of protesters up there, but at the height, there were hundreds of protesters out here right up against the police department. And that's really when things escalated around like 8:30. Protesters were chanting, rattling the fences a bit, throwing some things over the fence. And that's when flashbangs, started coming back over the other side of the fence from State Patrol, who's guarding the police department here. We know roughly 2,000 National Guardsmen are on duty, and you can definitely feel their presence here tonight. But the group of protesters has been growing, now dispersing. But since roughly 5 o'clock, when a rally and march started for Daunte Wright, earlier this group marched from the Brooklyn Center Police Department, which was guarded by the National Guard, then to the FBI building a couple blocks away, back to the police station to finish up. And they're, of course, calling for justice in this case. We spoke with protesters and leaders about their hope for a better future and their demands for a murder charge in Wright's case.
Best to try and explain to them about what's happening. And so they know that there's something going on, and they know that there's some injustices to some people. But I wanted my kids to see this, and so yes, we're hopeful. This kind of organization, this kind of marching here, hopefully will bring change.
And that is important because what community groups are asking, community people are asking, is for immediate and swift justice. And if you delay it, it definitely creates a more distrust, and also shows that there is really no care being given to justice, especially now knowing clearly the evidence that we saw.
And the specific call from Jaylani tonight, who you heard from there, is for a special prosecutor to be appointed to this case and for murder charges to be brought against the former officer who shot Daunte Wright. We've heard some protesters say they're going to her house next. Not sure if there's validity to that, but we are hearing rumblings of that. And for tonight, we're still waiting to see how arrests will pan out and how the curfew will be enforced here.
All right, Erin, thank you. We want to be able to show you a few more live pictures right now as we take a look at the scene and give you an idea of what's happening, just a couple different perspectives. Again, we've heard several dispersal orders. As you can see, some people dancing in front of police tonight in the street, a number of officers lined up, and certainly a show of force as much of this crowd has been dispersed already.
And we know that there was a curfew that started at 10 o'clock tonight, but we were told that authorities started making arrests earlier. And they started before the curfew because law enforcement say that protester tried taking down the fencing that was over there in front of the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
And that kind of leads to what Mike said. There were many more people, and they were much more congregated in the last 60 to 90 minutes. Things now, though, as you can see, are much more sporadic, and there's definitely a large police presence out there. As our camera moves and gets readjusted, we can give you an idea of what happened last night as well. Numbers that we know today show that 34 people were arrested during the protest last night in Brooklyn Center. Operation Safety Net says that they were all there and arrested for unlawful assembly. This is video from last night. Officers used tear gas and flashbangs to clear that crowd that refused to leave after curfew. That curfew went into effect earlier, you might remember, last evening. Several stores were also broken into at a strip mall near the police department last night. And we have a couple more cameras reestablished in Brooklyn Center right now and give you some more live looks at the scene and what's happening this evening with that situation. This is actually a shot from a traffic camera that's looking from 94 at Humboldt Avenue, and you can see that road is congested, and in the foreground you can see officers and people moving around and just a lot of congested traffic in the back.
Yeah, as we said, there's a 10 o'clock curfew. I don't know if these are people who are maybe leaving the area of the protest, if they're heading in another direction. We don't know that earlier the large group that was there did march over to, there's a FBI building over there, not very far from the Brooklyn Police Department. And they marched over there and then returned and came back to the police department. And as you can see, this is a street that is running directly in front of the police department, and it looks like it has pretty much cleared out, as Mike Max had told us earlier, that we don't know at this point if there are any arrests. Well, there are arrests underway right now. We don't know how many have been arrested so far, but it looks like it's pretty cleared out at this point.
And these curfews are in effect in neighboring cities like Maple Grove, Crystal, Brooklyn Park as well, in addition to Minneapolis and St. Paul.
I think we're going to go to Mike Max, who is still out there right now, and talk to him.
Yeah, we were not able, frankly, we were not able to get too close to the scene, but some people were. This is Madeline. She was up close. Now, tear gas was not dispersed, but you said they used pepper spray?
Mace, yes. They had maced us from close range and sprayed every single person in the vicinity of the pepper spray.
Did you see anybody get injured? Did you see anybody have to be taken to the hospital? Anything like that?
Yes, there's multiple people that I saw that had to be carried, and someone having asthma attacks, all of that, bleeding from their faces, bleeding from their arms, rubber bullet marks on thighs, on arms, on faces, like that, yeah.
And what caused people to finally disperse?
Once they started running into us, they ran. All of the troopers, everyone, all of the police ran at us, and everyone ran towards you.
So they came outside the fence and ran at you? Because before that they were inside the fence?
Yes. And then they had police come from down this street, and they had military in the fence, and they both all came out and kind of like ambushed us.
Yeah,
So
talk into there so we can hear you better on the, yeah.
So they came from down the street and from inside of the police station, and they came at us, and we ran down this street and down the other street and just kind of hid for a while, and then they started shooting rubber bullets into the crowds, and that's why many more people dispersed.
So there were a group of people that actually hid
Yes.
and just stayed low for a while,
yeah.
and then once you saw things said cleared out, you came out?
There was multiple people out and hiding. There was people screaming at the police, along with me, and other people as well, but there were some people hiding behind the apartment buildings back there, and that's just, yeah.
How did this move from a peaceful protest that it looked like? What was the antagonist? What was the catalyst that moved it up the meter?
So they started telling us to disperse because of the curfew, and people started like banging on the fences. They started macing us. We weren't even banging on the fences before they maced us. They were just macing us because we were standing there. And they were macing us, we were getting angry, banging on the fences, throwing water bottles, and then they started shooting the rubber bullets, and everything just went off from there.
What though? I mean, was it because of the curfew?
Yeah.
And when they announced the curfew, did some people leave, or did people choose to challenge
People
that?
chose to challenge it.
And that's what led to everything else.
That's what led to everything else, yes.
Wow. So, do you regret coming out here tonight?
Never.
How do you feel?
Never. I would never regret coming out here getting maced. I would never regret any of that. I'm out here for a reason, and that reason is to help black people in the black community, and that's all I'm here for.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
And where are you from?
I'm from Minneapolis.
Okay, so you're out with a group of friends that just heard about it and came out?
We've been out here for the past 3 days protesting in Minneapolis, in Brooklyn Center, in Brooklyn Park, everywhere.
Are you concerned for your own safety?
Not at all. Not at all.
So what's next?
What's next? Probably more protests. This isn't going to stop until we get justice. It's not going to stop.
You know, I got to ask one more question, because a lot of people have this question. There's been an arrest. There's been resignations. Obviously, there's a trial going on. What's the definition of justice, do you think, to the protesters as people look and they say, it looks like they're moving, there's a process here that they're moving through?
Yes, the resignation is not enough. She needs to be fired, and she needs to be charged for what she did. Derek Chauvin needs to be charged for what he did. Everybody saw what he did. Why is there even a trial if everyone saw what he did? That is the biggest thing here. And justice to us is the police stop using brutality against people of color and people of color in their communities as well.
Do you feel like your voice is being heard?
And my voice is being heard because I'm a lighter complexion. That is the only reason. That is the only reason.
And I might add, it was a very diverse group out here tonight as well, right?
Everyone came out. The Native community, props to the Native community. I'm Native as well. We all need to stand together. That's all that needs to happen. Unity. Just unity.
Thank you for sharing some time with us.
Of course. Thank you so much.
That's Melody, and it speaks to some of the energy that's out here and probably will exist in the days ahead. And kind of an up close and personal what happened tonight with the pepper spray and everything. The crowd is dispersed, and I believe that we're heading towards some kind of a peaceful ending here.
Maxie, I notice, you know, there's a big police presence out there still, and a number of people that have not been arrested. Are they just hoping these folks kind of leave on their own? Can you see? I mean, it doesn't look like there's anywhere near the tension we saw an hour ago.
Yeah. I don't think they're coming on the megaphones from time to time to tell people to leave, that they're in violation, but I don't think they feel threatened at all. Too many people have left the scene. I think that they're doing due diligence here, that they're prepared for, and they're doing everything that they need to do so that they get people to keep moving. But I don't think anybody feels threatened right now. I don't think there's any threat of danger or violence in the near future. It appears, at least from where we stand, that it's getting smaller and smaller, and people have either left the scene and gone home, or they've gone on to a new location to protest, which is a possibility, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as big as what you saw here earlier tonight.
And once again, we're going back to Brooklyn Center, where, as you can see, there are still some protesters who are in the street. The curfew went into effect about 24 minutes ago, and the arrests have started happening. Police still lined up right over there near the Brooklyn Center Police Department. We're going to go to Erin Hassanzadeh, who has been following the protests all day today, and it sounds like a lot of horns beeping back behind you there, Erin.
And what you are hearing right now, it just stopped, it might start up again, is the sound of people laying on their horns. They've been doing that every time the State Patrol projects that loud message to protesters to disperse and go home. We are just up the street from the Brooklyn Center Police Department. And there it is. Those horns are now coming on every time State Patrol over the loudspeaker tells protesters to leave. And you can hear it there. Maybe not quite the defiance that was in the hundreds of people that were out here before the crowd dispersed a bit, but people even on their way out want to show that they are passionate about this. We want to get to some video for you to show you the use of force that was used to clear people out. There were flashbangs. You heard protesters tell us earlier in one of our shots that they were pepper spray, that rubber bullets were deployed and have been used. A note that the Brooklyn Center City Council said they don't want to use tear gas or rubber bullets. Their police department should not do that. But state police and the National Guard don't necessarily have to abide by those rules. And that was who was protecting the police department here tonight, and that was who was clearing people out. So we are past curfew now. Honestly, the crowd has dispersed quite a bit. At the height we showed you earlier, 300, 400, maybe 500 people. It was a really large group. And it's hard to tell how many are still at the line behind us against police, but it's a handful compared to the hundreds that were out here earlier. Still no word on exactly arrests, just you heard from protesters. The pepper spray, rubber bullets, things of that nature were used on protesters at close range earlier tonight.
Here's another live look at what's happening in Brooklyn Center this evening. This has been going on there all through the course of the evening. At this point, though, we can tell you much of the crowd has been dispersed. We believe there have been some arrests. We don't have the exact numbers right now, but we know that police officers were using different chemical irritants and flashbangs to try to get the people to leave. We do expect a decision tomorrow on whether the officer who shot Daunte Wright will be charged.
Of course, we will keep you informed on all the latest updates on TV and online. And once again, as you can see, it looks like a lot of these cars are getting into a traffic jam here. These are probably protesters who are leaving the area of the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
Police and protesters are on the move in Brooklyn Center again.
We're going to go to Mike Max, who's been out there all evening. I know Maxie seemed a little quiet. They're trying to break up the crowd, but we did see at one point that somebody was starting a fire in the middle of the road there, and that's when it looked like police came running down the street.
Yeah, this happened very suddenly, Frank and Amelia. Things looked like they were coming to some kind of a peaceful conclusion. I went up to the front lines, and there were about 50 protesters still chanting, and about 60 feet away were about 60 police officers or law enforcement officials, and they were standing there, looked like they were perfectly content to wait this thing out. I returned to the perimeter, our broadcast site, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that perimeter changed, and in came just an infiltration and penetration of law enforcement officials with the big Humvees, with police cars, and everyone started to disperse. It certainly looked like if you were inside that perimeter, you were susceptible to being arrested. That's when we went on basically a dead sprint to get out of there. Some people, many did too, they dispersed out the sides. Some people were left inside there, and I don't know if they were intent on arresting everybody inside that perimeter at that time, but it happened incredibly quickly. It was almost like they came from nowhere, and they had the Humvees, and they had the people jumping out of cars and stopping cars that were trying to get out of that situation. And right now, we're about a half a mile away from that situation, but it is ongoing there, and it is moving. I don't think there's a threat of violence there. It looked like they had it contained and controlled, but certainly it was a moment that we didn't anticipate. We thought that this was just going to kind of slowly come to an end, and instead, law enforcement officials said, we've had enough of the noise and everything else that was going on, and they put an end to it, it looked like, rather quickly.
Max, you know, we've learned so much more after going through what we did in May. I'm not sure this is coincidence or accident, and I'm not sure that anyone on the ground made this decision, because my understanding of how this command structure works now is that, you know, there are several incident commanders, and when they see something, and I don't know if it was the fire or what, but they immediately give orders to act, as opposed to a year ago when there was a lot of reaction. I think the new strategy is, we see something, we don't like it, we don't want it to escalate, we're going to take some action, because it sounds like you saw them take some really quick action.
Well, and it's funny that you mentioned fire, because we were standing in the corner there, a pumping bunch, a convenience store some people are familiar with out here. And as is the case in many convenience stores, outside they have quite a bit of wood, a few cords of wood. You know, people come in, purchase wood for a fire. That was the only looting that I saw. People were coming up and they were taking wood, and I thought, why would you take that now? Because that's fairly cumbersome to carry to a certain point. And now that you mentioned fire, I don't know if I'm putting two and two together, if I'm too far out there, or if they had intent to move it somewhere and start a bonfire in the middle of the street, because certainly that, you know, that's the tinder kind of wood that you could buy at any convenience store, and it's left out by the pumps at night. Basically, you know, it's an honor system, and the next day people will come in and purchase it. And there were a number of people, protesters, that went and grabbed that wood and dispersed, but I didn't think at the time that there was any plan for that. It looked to me like it was just kind of the joy of the moment and being able to take it.
Oh, so if you didn't see the fire, Amelia,
saw
tell
it.
Mike, we saw the fire.
Yeah, we saw the building. At first, we thought it was the police lights that were flashing. There were yellow lights flashing, but all of a sudden you could see these flames, and it was in the middle of the street. They had built a fire, and it wasn't long after that that all of a sudden the line of police officers came running in. So we didn't know if that maybe was what it was, or if there was something else that was going on.
That would make sense. It would also make sense in my calculations because these people were grabbing this wood and they were laughing and walking in a direction. And the only thing I could think was it was just the joy of getting away with something. But maybe they had intentions. Maybe that was what escalated and ended this, I guess, was they could bring it to the middle of the street very easily because there was a whole lot of wood sitting there and it would have been easy to execute just that.
Yeah, and you know, we saw a lot of people gathering around it. One, I think just the fact that it's cold out and it's a place to kind of gather.
Yeah.
But boy, it didn't last for more than 3 minutes, and we saw officers sprinting towards that fire and the people that were around it.
Yep, and they must have been staged at a place that we couldn't see them from because they arrived from nowhere, and it was quick and it was swift, and they were trying to stop cars and keep people in check, and they looked like they knew exactly what they were going to do, and if you were inside of there, you were at risk of being arrested. That was our takeaway from it, and so our entire crew, and there's about 6 of us out here, immediately went on a sprint until we could get to where we thought was a safe haven, and they moved the perimeter a little since then, but we're still a healthy half a mile away from where the incident occurred.
And many people around there still, Mike, or no?
No, we're far enough away that anybody that left could have left now. We're in the neighborhood a ways away, and if you were inside there, maybe you didn't get out, so maybe there are people that are still back there, but we're not seeing foot traffic. We're seeing occasional cars come by here, but we're not seeing any foot traffic this far out, but we are a ways away right now from what will be ground zero tonight.
Yeah, and once again, this curfew was started at 10 o'clock, and there was like relatively peaceful protests before that, starting at 5 this evening. And I know that you spoke to a young lady earlier, and she had said that she had claimed that they were peaceful, and then the police started spraying mace at them. And we've also heard reports from people who were out there that people in the crowd were throwing things at the police, and that they started moving forward because the fence was they were tampering with the fence.
Yes, tampering with the fence, and I'm not sure the exact tactics, but we heard it a couple times that the police or law enforcement officials ran at them. Not with any violence, not grabbing people, but maybe just to get them to disperse, and that created another wave. And then Melody, who we had on, said that they were pepper sprayed, which is kind of like a mace. It's not a tear gas, but it's with the spray can, and you're generally speaking, you're within 5 or 6 feet of someone if you're going to use that. And she said that's what they saw, and then they saw rubber bullets that caused some form of harm to some of the people, and they saw an asthma attack, they thought, and things like that. So nothing life-threatening, but there was at least the threat of, or the feeling of, that some people were injured to an extent. We never saw any ambulance out here. We never saw anybody that looked like they were getting any medical care.
And the fact is that these folks, as a young lady you talked to, they have grievance, and they're very well aware of the curfew, and they're not fazed by it at all, it seems, Mike.
No, they're not fazed by it, and I guess to go back to what we were talking about originally there, Frank, from last summer until now, at least what I've observed, is the fear level protesters to police officers is going down almost by the day, and I think that might be the greatest concern that law enforcement officials have, is the respect or lack thereof that they may get now that was different last summer when this all started. Protesters don't seem to fear the officers as much. They seem to be more willing to engage, antagonize, walk right up to the line, shout their views, all those kinds of things. And the last thing, when I walked up to the front lines here just a short while ago, it was a small group, and they seemed intent on being incredibly vocal. And the law enforcement officials, it was pretty dark, but you could see their reflections because you could see them about 60 feet away, just stood there, and they just continued to chant and to yell at the law enforcement officials. I don't think that by itself was egregious enough that it was going to warrant arrest or anything else. Obviously, it was the fire, and it was what you saw from the chopper that they said, okay, we got to get this thing under control and be done with it. Because to that point, the only real nuisance was when they'd go on their bullhorn, the people learned to honk their horns and drown it out, which would keep the neighbors up, obviously, in this neighborhood. But there was no threat of violence at any point to that point.
You know, Mike, I thought it was interesting when you were talking to Melody, one of the protesters who is from Minneapolis, and you had asked her, you know, what do you hope to achieve from these protests? And you had pointed out that the police officer who had shot Daunte Wright had resigned today, the police chief resigned, and you were saying that this is pretty much what you had been asking for, and it happened. And can you talk a little bit about that and what her response was?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that are really fired up right now that I saw here tonight, saw to an extent last night on Lake Street, and I don't know, you don't hear from them in general an end game that says when this happens there will be no more protests. What you hear a lot of are more vague, you know, we need justice, we need to bring people to justice, and then when you ask for the definition of justice, everybody seems to have a different definition. A lot of people that are out here are also following the leaders. So they're being told, be here, protest this, protest on behalf of, this is what we want. You know, Melody mentioned that it wasn't good enough that Officer Potter resigned, that she should have been fired. You know, semantics, I think, I'm not sure, once she's away from the force, and obviously charges could be brought tomorrow, as you reported earlier. So it's hard to follow, except that this is a very passionate group. A lot of young people, when I say young people, I'm talking about ages 16 to 25 that are out here, and they want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of a movement, and I don't know if there's a strategy for how this game ends as much as they want to continue to be heard. And I don't know, when, you know, is there a sentence for Chauvin, a number of years they've got in mind? I don't know, but I'm not sure that they know either. I think they're kind of playing this by ear on almost a daily basis.
And I think it probably depends on the individual to a certain degree. It's an interesting point, Mike. I was speaking to the University of St. Thomas School of Law professor this evening and asked what effect the Chauvin trial, all the police officer involved shootings that we've had here, especially white and black, is going to have on the possible charges against Kim Porter. And she said, well, it'll have a big effect because there's a lot of pressure and people are aware of it. And but she said, keep in mind that might not be a bad thing, because years ago, and she doesn't mean 50 years ago, she means recent history, perhaps our population, our society, our culture was okay with some of the violence that might have been going on that we didn't know about. And I said, I wonder if it's not only a cultural shift, but the fact that now we see everything, that video and cameras have changed, and people that were complaining about things before, now when a complaint happens almost anywhere, it's caught on camera, and that really changes the equation of what kind of pressure is being put on prosecutors to charge or not charge people.
Yeah, and that's the game changer of all time, is that, you know, and it's also amazing and astounding to me how we can all look at the same video and come up with such divergent opinions of what happened as well. And that's part of the conflict that you see out here, and maybe the conflict resolution is, how did you interpret what you saw? It's not just what you saw, it's how you interpreted what you saw, and that's where you get a cross-section of opinions. But you do see, and you saw this at the last summer towards the end, and this is at least interesting, how diverse the groups are out here. And I think, you know, people think about Black Lives Matter and all that. It is really, it is an outgrowth and organically grown, and it is across the board. The other thing that you're seeing with protesters that we saw tonight here for the first time that I've seen it, is they're more prepared than they've ever been. Some had a form of a gas mask on and goggles as they entered in. We never saw that before in the summer, but I can't tell you how many people I saw that had what looked like, you know, preventive gear specific to tear gas and everything else. So as this moves along, and I think law enforcement's gotten more sophisticated, so too have the protesters, and many of them are coming out prepared for whatever it is that they're going to see.
Well,
Yeah,
Maxie,
I think everyone is learning from that, Mike. You're right.
absolutely. Maxie, thank you very much, and be careful out there. We're going to go to some
You
video.
bet.
We actually have some video right now about that fire that we were talking about. It was along the street there, and there was a group hanging out on the street quite, I think, peacefully.
Well, maybe we can put two and two together.
There we
Mike
go.
saw some people stealing some firewood from a convenience store, and then we saw this fire being started. And the interesting thing that we were talking about is once it started, it drew a bit of a crowd, and I'm not sure, Amelia, if it lasted for maybe 3 minutes before police stormed in and put an end to it.
Yes, they did. And honestly, and we only saw 2 minutes of it, but it looked like the people were gathering around there trying to warm up. But I think the fact that there was some sort of fire there, that drew police officers.
Well, and whether they wanted to warm up or not, I think there's very little tolerance for things escalating. Last year, in the course of 5 to 6 days, there was $500 million worth of property damage, much of it done by fire that
yeah.
people along Lake Street and in the Uptown area know very well. So this fire did not burn for long, and Mike said he didn't even know where some of the police officers came from, but they came quickly and swiftly and dispersed people from the fire, and we did see earlier a few arrests being made as well.
And once again, a curfew going on in several cities across the metro area. Third night of protest after a deadly police shooting. That curfew running until 6 in the morning. And again, tomorrow we're expecting a decision on whether or not the officer who shot Daunte Wright will be charged.